Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another monsters video. So today I'm back with our monster review for you guys. We have the monster Zeit that I'm going to do in a full review from level 1 to 150, rank 5. So you guys will see this monster in action at its full potential. And I'm going to go show you guys the best skills, the best rune setup, and everything you need to know about this monster. So I hope you guys are excited. If you are, make sure you drop a like and subscribe. Anyways, let's get started. Alrighty guys, let's take a look at this. We have 9,000 cells here, and if I'm not mistaken, you guys can correct me in the comments, this monster is for the race, right? This is a race monster because I remember resurrection block, right? If I'm not mistaken, this monster actually has resurrection block from what I saw in the monstergram. So I'm pretty sure this is actually the team race monster. So we're about to go ahead and review it nonetheless, even if it is or isn't. But we have 9,000 cells. Huge thanks to Social Point for sponsoring today's video, given all the cells, the resources, and everything that you're going to be seeing. All given by Social Point. So let's go ahead and hit craft here and craft this bad boy up. But let me speed it up to see what the monster actually looks like. If we tap on the egg here, okay, so this is the design here, guys. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on the design. What do you guys think of them? So this is a support. Oh, it's a metal fire support with cooldown activation, fear, ignite, fire immunity, and metal immunity skills. Interesting. Fire and metal immunity. That's quite an interesting combo. But anyways, guys, so if you haven't already, you can go ahead and either scan the barcode or hit the link description down below. It's going to take you to the game. Pick this monster up while it's here. But anyways, guys, let's go ahead and speed this bad boy up. So we get all rune slots open, which is awesome. This monster's holding a torch. Is it a he or she? I don't know. But anyways, so here goes basically the final form. So it goes from baby to final. But let's see that ultimate real quick. So it looks like it's going to be some kind of like a damaging kind of like ultimate. Yeah, look at that. It removes positive status effects and applies fire weakness to all enemies, deals low fire damage to everybody, and then applies burn. I don't know how I feel about that ultimate, to be honest. That's an interesting ultimate. I don't think I've ever seen something like that before. As for support, I was actually expecting some kind of like team support, you know what I mean, for the ultimate. But this kind of helps out as well because you're opening up the path a little bit. You're PRing basically, you're applying fire weakness. If you do have any fire monsters on the side with you, they can deal some good damage. But the low fire damage kind of threw me off, honestly. And then there's a burn to everybody. But anyways, so what makes this monster so special is the resurrection block. You guys know this is one of the best traits right now in the game. Hey, arguably it is the best trait if we're talking support wise, but then there's also Pierce, right? So Pierce trait, you can never go wrong with Pierce trait. But resurrection block is freaking OP. This artifact, you know, those kind of traits are just there. I should probably do like a tier list for like, you know, just ranking all the traits in the game and which ones are the best and which ones aren't, I guess. If you guys want to see that, drop a like and let me know. But anyways, so resurrection block, immunity to freeze, and area ignite. So this monster is good instantly at rank 0 because of that block resurrection. But let's go ahead and take a look at the skills. Before we do that, let's get that resource real quick, the free resources. We're going to go back here and we're going to just straight up rank this monster up. Sure, you guys already know I like my monsters like ranked up straight away, getting them to max before we start, you know, the review. But this right here, guys, rank 3 is when you get that area ignite. So you're kind of starting off with a torture to everybody, unless there's a megataunt on the enemy side. If there is megataunt, that ignite, you're gonna have to say kind of bye-bye to it, just because that ignite will be applied to just that megataunt monster. Something to kind of look out for, I would say. But, oh my gosh, all those runes we just got and all the resources. You know what's crazy? I feel like my gold has been just going up. Like I remember it used to be at 170 billion, now it's 190 billion, unless I'm mistaking it with my main account. So I don't know. But anyways, here we have the monster. Let's go ahead and start fitting it up. Is it Zeit or just Zeit? I think it's just Zeit, right? You know what we can call him? Let's call him Z. Just the letter Z, okay? I think we should definitely call him that. But I do see a fear ability there and an ignite, so it comes with a torture. Aside from, you know, being able to control the enemy, you know what I mean? So they lose a turn. But we're gonna just slowly get it to 100, and now it's slowly going up and almost being maxed out. You guys ready? 3, 4, and 5. There it is. 150, ladies and gentlemen. You got 58,368 strength, 1.763 million life, and 30,560. Now that speed's actually really good compared to the most of the monsters that got released so far in this era. That speed's actually better than them, I would say. It's crazy how we're at like 30.5k speed, and that's stock speed we're talking without any runes. Like 6, 7, 8 years ago, when it was like just legendaries or original mythics out, like this speed was, can you imagine, like if you told somebody this is going to be the speed for monster in the future? That's just insane. But anyways, you have a CDA and ignite and burn. Oh, I like that. I actually kind of like this one. So if the path is open, you can actually apply this, and it comes with 2 tortures, so they're going to be taken in that torture while they're hit with CDA. This one, it gains aquaphobic shield and fire immunity to all allies. Okay, I actually like that. So for those of you guys that are kind of unfamiliar with what this is, the hydrophobic shield, basically it can only be damaged by skills of water element. So if the enemy has any other kind of element, like let's say, you know, JJ, for example, is in the enemy side. If JJ tries attacking, can't deal any damage unless he eventually gets his awakening and then PER trade tables. That's a different story. But only water skills can go through, like Kirk Moonwalker, for example. And then there's also immunity to fire, so target receives no fire damage, so RIP any fire attackers, I would say. I guess the newest Ancestral would be one of them. Let me take a look again. Oh, actually no, because this monster can use Thunder abilities, Thunder skills, yeah. So this monster has Thunder skills here. I completely forgot about that. But anyways, so yeah, we have the Aquabrick Shield and Fire Immunity. I'm actually going to keep that for sure, but I want to keep it right here instead. Let's see what else we have though. Metal immunity and fire immunity to everybody. So again, 0 damage being taken if you want to run this. Basically, any metal attackers or fire attackers, they're not going to be dealing any damage to them. So that kind of helps out a little bit. And then there's Fear Ignite to one enemy. It's not spammable, but it is there. This one is also to one enemy. I really wish this was an AoE. That would have been really good. But it's up to you which one you actually want to run. I mean, they're basically the same thing, except this one deals low metal damage, which I don't think anybody really cares because you're mostly picking the skill over the other for, you know, just because of the fear, you know, and torture. I guess it's the same thing. So me personally, what I would recommend, guys, is run the Molten Memories over this one, because you're getting a 1 turn less cooldown and then less stamina cost as well. Yeah, you're sacrificing the damage, but it's just low metal damage. You're not even going to be running this monster as an attacker, so why would you just care about that at all? You know what I mean? So I personally am just going to skip on that, honestly, but it is optional if you want to run it. We do have this one, which is a burn to an enemy and fire protection to all allies. Which I'm not going to do. Fire protection to one ally, and then CDA to one enemy, which is spammable, by the way. And this one's actually not bad if you want to switch it over to this. But we already have an AoE version. If you want a single target, you can. But yeah, this monster is quite interesting, I would say. It's like a mix of, you know, mix of a denier with support in a way. By the way, that is kind of nasty. The 60 stamina with 4 cooldowns. That's actually kind of bad. Oh my gosh. So yeah, stamina cost is really high, I would say, for the most part, and cooldowns are actually really high too. Look at this, 2 4 turns. This one's a 2 and a 2. Oh my gosh, what the heck. Okay, so we have staff and armor. So for staff, there's actually quite a few options. One of my personal favorites is the Merc staff, but you can't go wrong with some of the other ones that are available here. I'm just going to do Merc staff here. And then for the armor, you guys know the best one to give, you can never go wrong with it, Honor Dojo armor. If you don't want to give that, you can go with either Supreme or one of these other obsidian ones. Now, since we have staff to regenerate our stamina, we don't really have to go with Killer Rock's armor. We can go with something more a little bit defensive or something that would help them survive a little bit longer. Me personally, I'm just going to do the Honor Dojo. Now, it looks like I only have 1 stamina left, so I might actually have to start cutting in some stamina from some of these guys that I've either reviewed in the past or I don't think I'm going to use or whatever. We have one right here. There's a 10 right here. We can actually just go ahead and remove it. There's one on this one as well. Let me take that real quick. I kind of like how Social Point, when they went ahead and gifted me this account, majority of the monsters from the past, like for example, you guys just see all these filler monsters like the legendaries and stuff. They don't have just like a you know, like a level 5 or 6 rune or up to like level 9 or whatever, they actually have some decent runes. You know what I mean? Like, look at this. There's like 10s and 11s and stuff like that that you can find, which is really, really cool. So whenever I do need runes, I can just go ahead and remove it off of them, and then I'm able to just equip it on the monster that I'm reviewing. Anyways, nonetheless, guys, for those guys that are interested in, of course, giving this monster runes, which I highly recommend doing so, these are the runes that I highly recommend giving. So it's going to be a mix of speed and team speed for this monster. You don't want to give anything else besides Sosu, so this is something that could work out. But if it's super fast, you can of course always switch it out with either 1 team speed and keep the other 2 speed, or you can go ahead and do 2 team speed with 1 speed. You can even do as far as triple team speed if you want, but me, I want to run at least 1 or 2 speed runes. The thing is, I'm actually going to pair this monster up alongside, you know, a monster that will take in first turn to open up the path. Because with this guy, you of course want to go ahead and use the CDA abilities. You know, there's fear and stuff like that, but also some of the support that comes along. So you do want this monster just to be a little bit fast, but just make sure that there's another monster opening up the path for you. Now, as far as like running this monster as a full supporter, I don't know how I feel about that because there's only like 1 more skill that you can choose from. This one does give fire protection to everybody, so if you want, actually, that would make it 2, so you can swap out these 2, but I wouldn't really recommend swapping out this one because it will come in handy, and it is nice because it's basically a hybrid monster between a supporter and a denier. So I would recommend keeping it. Alrighty guys, so here we are in battle, and I wanted to show you guys what I meant earlier in terms of just making somebody faster. Now in this case, even though I did a triple speed, look at that, that's actually insane. 48 to 47, and this one has 47 too. It's by 100. But anyways, this one has a little bit faster. You're not supposed to make this monster super fast. Like I said, you're supposed to have somebody to go in before that, but my Enkidu is 110, even though I'm doing a triple speed on me. Anyways, I just had to make a quick skill, so I did a fire protection with metal protection. So what I'm actually gonna, this is how it's supposed to play out. You're supposed to do the trade disable first, so you're supposed to have your Enkidu or whatever other trade disabler that you're going to be running to take in the turn before the monster. Okay, now I could have also maybe done Stina. Actually, Stina would have been pretty cool too. Double the CDA, you know, that's kind of fun. But anyways, I take in the turn. I can do remove all taunt. No, let's just do this real quick. So, you know, just use a skill. Our tank takes the turn, so with the tank, let me see, I don't want to do any of the cooldowns, that's boring. Let's do the life regen with the damage mirror. Now take a look at this, I want to see, so there's immunity to fire, immunity to metal. Oh, I didn't apply the protection. So let me go ahead and show you guys what I meant earlier. So let's say this monster has those 2 element protections but doesn't have the hydrophobic one and the fire one. So if I were to attack right now, he is going to take the damage, right? And there's damage mirror, which is kind of cool. So that's just from the tank himself. But I was going to say, like, if he were to attack when I had that other scale on, he wouldn't have been able to deal any damage, and we're going to show that in a second. So right now, if he ends up attacking, you know, the damage is going to go through and stuff like that. But take a look at this. So when I get the turn here, we can use this and it's going to be to everybody. Now, let me take a look if the hydro is for everybody too. Oh, what? No, that... Are you kidding me? Okay, so the water protection is actually only to himself, it seems like. It is not for everybody. Unfortunately, if you try to apply it to your tank, yep, it's not going to happen. So something to, of course, look out for, guys. When he does apply that, it is only to himself, but the fire protection is to everybody else. So let's say I do this light damaging skill right here, 1.5 million, it goes through, right? It just deals the damage because it's not a fire element. That was a dark one, or I'm sorry, it was light. But let's say Linneas gets a turn here and he tries attacking, but guess what? 0 damage. Thanks to, of course, the fire protection. So it's good against those fire monsters, but then himself, he can be protected with that water element. So let's say if this Megaton wasn't here, they can't really touch him. You know what I mean? None of these monsters are water element, therefore they can't do anything. Now fear, he is immune to it, but we can actually fear him possibly if it doesn't miss. Of course it missed because of the tough trait there. But anyways, I don't want to use any of my warm-ups. I do want to eliminate the tank real quick, the Megatons, so let's just eliminate him if we can. He's just surviving. It's insane how much he survives. And that torture resistance is so OP on him too. Like, I know I like mentioned that on my review possibly when I did the review for the tank, but man, it's just so good with the Megaton trait together. It's just crazy. Let's see if he takes any damage from tortures. Oh, it ran out. Okay, I was gonna see if he was gonna take any damage since there was like a water protection, but it went away. So now we have immunity to metal or fire, or we can hit him with CDA. So let's go ahead and hit him with CDA. That's just going to go towards the Megatons. But let's say that he attacks, right? Let's just deal some damage here. I should be getting my Awakening, which will help me basically, you know, use my Awakening to resurrect whoever I want. Hopefully he survives that damage. Yes, he did. Okay, he did. I'm just going to charge up just to show you guys something. Take a look at this, all right? Now I'm using Everest. Yeah, it's a little trippy, right? We switch sides. But anyways, look, Resurrection block thanks to the block Resurrection. So that's literally the best thing he can do. I would say that's the best thing about the Zeit monster, the block Resurrection. That's just so huge. Like right now I'm clicking, you guys can see. Yeah, can't happen. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. But you guys get the point, right? Like the best thing about him is the block Resurrection. I am a little bit disappointed about the fact that the hydrophobic is not for everybody. Now, just to kind of showcase that hydrophobic shield thing a little bit more, I'm actually going to go ahead and, you know, kind of eliminate the Megaton so the path is open there. And we're going to go ahead and apply it to ourselves real quick. So there's the hydrophobic with the immunity to fire. And take a look at this. So we switch sides, right? Take a look at this. Monster has hydrophobic. This one only has the fire protection. So I'll show you guys the difference. Look, he's not taking any damage, but the other monster is, right? A little bit selfish of him. But anyways, look, so if I try to deal damage to him, 0 damage. And if I try to do Righteous Kick, it's going to be 0 damage again. So I'm not going to do it, but I will do it to the other monster just to show you guys a comparison. Like he is protecting himself, but unfortunately the allies, they're only being protected by fire element. And that would be Linneus. So if Linneus, even if Linneus attacks him with the fire, guess what? 0 damage. But that just kind of shows you guys that Zeit is, you know, I would say, what's the word? He definitely, I mean, there's still some helping that he does with the fire protection, but I just wish that that hydrophobic was to everybody. That could have helped out a lot more, just because he is a hybrid monster. That would have actually helped out a lot, especially if you use it against your, like, on your ally for your, like, Megaton. Or even if you're not running a Megaton, it can still be helpful, because with the water element, the water category, I believe we only have Kirk Moonwalker, which is a heavy attacker. But yeah, in terms of ancestral monsters, well, I don't think anybody really like heavily still uses Bashir as an attacker. If they do, that's something, but Bashir has magic abilities and stuff. I mean, with Everest, there's metal and stuff like that too, but water, I mean, he has like a massive water damage if I'm not mistaken, so it could have definitely helped out a little bit against that. And also, of course, the new Ancestral has the fire protection, or the fire abilities, but can use thunder abilities as well. But in terms of fire, I'm trying to see if there's anybody else. And that's really about it, I would say. I guess maybe Graciel. But yeah, so anyways, let me know your thoughts and opinions on this monster, guys, and let me know if you're going to be picking him up or not. If you do, scan the QR code or hit the link in the description down below, and then that will basically take you to the game. You can go ahead and pick it up, but that's going to be pretty much it. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next one. Peace out.